Hi, everybody. I want to go over the week 12 assignments with you to explain a little more what you need to do. So, first of all, in week 12, you are now done with Unit 3, so you'll want to look at your grade on the Unit 3 summary response essay. And after you have reviewed Unit 3, please take the Unit 3 student survey, and the link is here in the homework announcement. Again, you'll need to wait until you see your final grade. All right, moving into Unit 4, this week you need to read the article, Social Media is a Public Health Crisis, Let's Treat It Like One. The link is here in the announcements. It's also under course readings in the social media section. So you'll see this article, which I would recommend that you print so that you can read and annotate it. This is the article that you are going to be evaluating in your Unit 4 critical evaluation essay. So last week you read about what a critical evaluation is. This is the article you are going to be evaluating. So of course, read it carefully. After you do that, then you're going to find an additional article that is discussing the same issue, but taking an opposite or a counter argument position. So even from the title, you can tell that the article that I'm having you evaluate is negative towards social media. So you're going to find an article that shows the benefits or the usefulness or the value in social media. This article will be used as part of your evaluation of the article I assigned, Social Media is a Public Health Crisis, Let's Treat It Like One. Now, you may find the article in three different places, one of three different places. In our databases, you can go to either EBSCOhost or SIRS. If you go to EBSCOhost, remember, you have to choose the databases. I would suggest checking only the first two, or maybe just Master File Premier. And then you can continue and put in here your search terms. Make sure that you click full text so that you can find the entire article when you put in your search terms. Again, you're looking for something that discusses the benefits of social media use. The other database you could use is SIRS. And in here, you could go ahead and put in the search bar social media and benefits, social media and benefits, or something along that line. But as it turns out, SIRS has social media as one of its issues, and part of that is the benefits of it. So perhaps some of these articles might work. If they don't, you could go to find more sources, and then you could look through those and see if any of those work as well. Now remember, whichever article you find must pass the CRAP test. So it must be current, it must be relevant to what you're using it for, it must be credible. So you need to make sure that you choose wisely. The other way you could look for an article is simply through a Google search. And so you could put in social media and benefits. Try that. There's other search terms you could use. And then look through the list and see what you find. Here in a Google search, you will need to be very careful about the CRAP test. Do not get something from another country. This one's from Australia. We don't want something from LinkedIn or somebody's blog. So we do want something that is reputable, from a magazine, a newspaper, an educational site, a government site. So you may need to look a bit to do that. You could try different terms. You could go to next. Please make sure the article is recent and it passes the CRAP test. All right, so find that article, print it out, read it, annotate it. You will be using it in this paper as well. All right. The last thing this week is to complete part 1 of the Critical Evaluation Planner. This is your outline. This is your planner for the final paper. It's been divided into 2 pieces. Last week, you should have read these 3 items: evidence, ethos, pathos, logos, and fallacies. If you didn't do that or you are a little rusty on it, please make sure you review those pages. You need that information in order to fill out the planner. So the link is here for the planner. It's also in the assignment in Unit 4, excuse me. But here it is, and you can type right on it. If you're having trouble typing on this document, you can put the same information on your own document. Just make sure that you are thorough. So you're going to fill in all required information. So the article information is the article that I assigned. The social media is a public health crisis. Let's treat it like one article. So author, title, where it was published, and the date. The overall topic of the article, the author's claim or argument, and then here is some space for you to give a brief summary of the article. So what were the key points that the author made? You may add to this list. You don't need to have only 3 points. The next section is evidence. So you are going to look through that article and pick out 3 separate pieces of evidence that support the author's claim. In box 1, number 1, you are going to put the piece of evidence as a direct quote. So I want the exact information from the article, and I want you to put the quotation marks around it and the citation that you would use. So the example is here, and you would apply that to the article that you are evaluating. Then you're going to identify the type of evidence. So the reading showed you the different kinds of evidence, and you would identify what type is the one that you picked out. You will also, for that piece of evidence, decide what appeal is being used. Is it logos, pathos, or ethos? Again, the reading will help you understand those terms. And then finally, you're going to evaluate this piece of evidence in terms of how well it's supporting the author's claim. Is it relevant to the claim? Is it accurate, believable, and is it credible or trustworthy? You should explain that in a couple of sentences. All right, you're going to do the same thing for 2 more pieces of evidence. Again, all of this information is coming from the article that I assigned, Social Media is a Public Health Crisis. Let's treat it like one. The next section is fallacies. So again, read that part in the D2L readings. Here you're going to look for 2 fallacies, or if you can't really identify a specific fallacy, then 2 weaknesses in the article. Again, you're going to quote that piece of information with a citation, and then in the second box, explain either the type of fallacy or why it is a weak argument or a weak piece of evidence. So you'll do 2 of those. Then we come to the counter evidence. For this part, you are going to use the article that you found that discusses the benefits of social media usage. So for that article, you're going to write down the author, title, source, publication date, and please give me the full web address or URL so that I can locate that article. If you found it from a database, explain here where you found it, SIRS or EBSCOhost in Master File Premier. All right, and the second question here is, what is a piece of counter evidence that you found in that article? Something that would oppose what was said in the article you're evaluating, the one that I assigned. So you could quote it or you could explain it in a couple of sentences. And then thirdly, how does this counter evidence impact the article that you're evaluating? Does it mean that it's less effective, or the author is not giving the full picture? You know, what does this other article you found say about the article that you are evaluating? And again, a couple of sentences would be sufficient here. All right, that is the end of part 1 of this planner. More to come next week, but just work on this one for this week. Okay, and then this is due. As you can see, the due date, so please make sure you get that submitted. It is graded, it is worth points, so get that submitted on time. That's it. If you have any questions, let me know.